Good morning, everyone. I am Hannah Grace P. Codera from BSTM to B Night. So, for today's video, I am going to show you how to play a Scrabble game. Playing Scrabble is probably a whole lot easier than it looks when you're sitting on the outside looking in. When you are involved in the game and used to the gameplay, you will find that it becomes increasingly easy.
So first is set up the board and racks and prepare to play.
Preparing for the game means that you get everything you need ready. Make sure that you have a game board, that there are 100 tiles available in the bag, that there is a rack for each player, and of course, that you have willing people to play with. Each person should get a rack and a comfy position at board. Place all of the tiles into the bag and shake it to mix them up nicely. You are now ready to play Scrabble. The next step is to decide who starts the game off.
Second, determine who starts the game.
In order to decide who goes first, each of the player must draw a random tile from the bag. The player who draws the tile letter that is closest to A is the player who will go first. The direction of play is meant to go in a clockwise direction. If any of the players draws a blank tile, it automatically means that they get to start the game. Now that you know who will play first, each player needs to get sufficient tiles to play the game.
Third, each player draws tiles.
Player 1 gets to draw tiles first, followed by the rest of the players in a clockwise direction. Each player must draw 7 tiles randomly from the bag. It is important that you do not let any other player see what tiles you have. Drawing one tile at a time is helpful as you can place each one onto the rack. When you're done, pass the bag to the next player so that they can do the same.
4. Each player gets a turn to play a word.
Player 1 gets to create the first word. The word must be at least 2 letters long, and one of the tiles for the word must be placed over the star square that is found in the very middle of the board. This is the starting point. You cannot play a diagonal word, but you can position the word vertically or horizontally as required. Each player then has a turn to follow suit. It is important to note that the starting words comes with a double score attached. If a player is unable to play a word, he or she can skip a turn. A player cannot skip 2 turns in a row.
Fifth, tally up the scores.
At the end of the round, the scores need to be tallied up. When you play a word, make a note of the points that the words is worth. You can find little numbers printed in the bottom right corner of each of the tiles. Add this up and keep a note of it. At the end of the game, the person with the highest score will win.
6. Draw new tiles.
Every time you play a set of tiles, you need to draw new tiles, or the same amount as you have just played. The new tiles must be placed onto your rack and bag of tiles must be passed onto the next player.
7. Build on the existing words on the board.
As each player adds to the board, there are new words that crop up. With every turn, you get to build on the existing words on the board. You cannot create a word on its own that is not connected to the words that are already on the board. Your added tiles must create a new word, and if your new word connects with other tiles on the board to make sense and be a valid, acceptable.
8. Focus on getting the highest scores possible on each turn.
To focus on playing tiles that ramp up your score tally as quickly as possible. Really scrutinize the board to ensure that you are seeing and that you are playing those that earn you the most points. You will notice that there are premium squares available on the
9. Challenge other players on their words.
playing Scrabble, there might be a word that crops up that you do not think is
10. Exchange tiles that you do not want.
come a time in that you can do with your existing tiles. You can then explore new ones. It is not recommended to do this on a whim. By using your hand, by using and turn to disregard that old tiles into the bag, shaking it up.
11. Finishing the game. Calculate each player's score.
The game is over when all tiles have been drawn and one of the players has used his or her last letter, or no more words can be made. To calculate each player's final score, add the points of all of his or her rounds and then subtract his or her unplayed letters.